You say you want the truth, but you don't. You want comfort. You want stability. You want to sleep at night. And truth doesn't offer that. It never has. Truth is disruptive. Truth is violent. Truth is a force that doesn't ask for permission before it rips the illusion from your hands and shows you what you've been avoiding. This is what Slavoj Žižek has always tried to say, not in gentle words, not in soft philosophy, but in jagged explosions of theory, psychoanalysis, and cultural chaos. Žižek is not here to make you feel better. He's here to make you uncomfortable, because discomfort is where the truth begins. Not because truth is cruel, but because your fantasies are comforting, and you've built your entire identity on them. Žižek doesn't believe that ideology is just something we're told. He believes ideology is the lens through which we see everything. Not propaganda, but unconscious software. It is the filter between your eyes and reality. And most of the time it works so well, you don't even notice it. That's the point. You think you're being rational, you think you're being free, but in reality, you're living in a pre-programmed narrative that tells you what's good, what's evil, what's real, what's success, what's love. And this narrative wasn't built by you. It was built for you. The scary part. You like it. You protect it. You fight for it. Because without it, you'd have to face the abyss. The truth that none of this is solid. None of it is stable. None of it is what it seems. Žižek says, we are all already caught in ideology. The problem is not escaping it. It's seeing that you're in it. You say you want to be free. But do you really? Freedom means letting go of the lie that tells you who you are. And that's terrifying. So instead, you curate your identity. You wear slogans. You post beliefs. You shop for meaning. You adopt ideologies that feel radical, but underneath, they're just more comforting lies. Another way to avoid the real. That's Žižek's term. The real, not reality. The real is what exists outside your symbolic order. Outside language. Outside the frameworks that keep you sane. The real is trauma. The real is contradiction. The real is what breaks your narrative and leaves you staring at the void. It's what the system hides, and it's what your mind hides. Because to see the real is to realize you've built your life inside a simulation, not a digital one, but a symbolic one. A lie that feels like truth. You think you love your partner, but maybe you love the version of yourself that exists in their eyes. You think you're fighting for justice, but maybe you're just projecting your own inner conflict onto the world stage. You think you hate your enemies, but maybe they are the externalized shadow of your own repressed desires. Žižek would say, your beliefs are not what you believe. Your beliefs are what you perform. You perform them for others. You perform them for yourself. Because performing is safer than confronting. And confrontation means change. And change means loss. And so you continue the loop. Belief, comfort, performance, lie. Žižek isn't interested in moralizing. He doesn't care if you're left or right, spiritual or secular, capitalist or anarchist. What he cares about is where your ideology breaks, where your belief system fails to account for what you don't want to see. That's where the truth is. In the contradiction, in the glitch, in the moment you hesitate before answering the question you've asked others 1,000 times. That's the truth. Not the words you say, but the silence between them. You live in a world that sells you identity. It packages rebellion and sells it as fashion. It wraps critique in entertainment. It offers truth as content, but never as disruption. Because real truth would cost too much. It would tear down the structures you depend on. It would kill the false self you've built. Žižek says we enjoy our ideology. That's the paradox. We enjoy the lie. Even when we know it's a lie, we cling to it. Why? Because it's better than facing the emptiness of the real, better than confronting that you are not who you think you are, that your motives are not pure, that your love is not unconditional, that your faith is not real, that your morality is built on convenience, that your truth is simply a reflection of your fear. But here's the deeper horror. Even your suffering can be ideological. You suffer in familiar ways. You find comfort in victimhood. You cling to your trauma like a flag, because to let go would mean losing your place in the story. And without that story, who are you? You don't know, because you've never met yourself. You've only met the version of yourself that survived, that adapted, that performed, that made the pain bearable. And Žižek is not here to help you cope. He's here to ask why you need to. Why you've built your life around soothing the symptoms of a sickness you refuse to name. He often says that the most dangerous ideology is the one that pretends to be neutral, the one that hides behind common sense, the one that says, that's just how things are. Because when you stop questioning, you start obeying. And when you obey long enough, you forget that you're obeying. And then you call it freedom. Žižek wants to tear that comfort apart. He wants to show you that your so-called freedom is a prison with mirrors for walls. It reflects back the version of yourself that you've been trained to love, but never asked to question. He's not offering answers. He's offering rupture. The kind of rupture that shakes your foundations and forces you to rebuild on nothing but honesty. The kind of rupture that hurts, that humbles, that purges. The kind of rupture that you spend your life avoiding by filling your world with meaning that you never earned. And that's the problem. You think your beliefs are yours, but they were implanted by your culture, your trauma, your fear, your desire to belong. You didn't choose them, you inherited them, and now they speak through you, and you call it me. Žižek is not comfortable, he is not polished, he is not digestible, and that's the point. He stutters, interrupts himself, contradicts himself, because that's what thought actually looks like. It's not clean, it's not marketable, it's not designed for algorithms. It's messy, violent, real, and we've replaced real thinking with branding, with slogans, with the illusion of awareness. But Žižek asks, do you really want to wake up, or do you just want to be seen pretending to? He once said, the function of ideology is to provide the illusion of choice. And look at the world. Endless options, infinite products, political tribes, spiritual movements, identities, labels, and yet nothing changes. You scroll, you vote, you post, you debate, and the system stays intact. Why? Because ideology doesn't care about content. It only cares that you stay inside it. Even if you rebel, as long as your rebellion is predictable, it's safe. It's absorbed. It becomes part of the spectacle. Žižek dares to say what no one wants to hear. That truth is not what you believe. It's what you're running from. That the more certain you are, the more likely it is that you're hiding. That the harder you fight for your worldview, the more fragile it actually is. Because the truth doesn't need to shout. It doesn't need applause. It just is. And that's what makes it unbearable. You can't manipulate it. You can't own it. You can only submit to it. And submission to truth feels like death to the ego. So you avoid it. You dress it up. You call the lie my path, my truth, my identity. But underneath you always know. Žižek says we don't want a good system. We want a system we can live with. Even if it's rotten. Even if it's built on exploitation. Even if it feeds us fake meaning and recycled dreams. Because it gives us a place. And the fear of being without a place is greater than the desire for liberation. That's why you cling to the lie. That's why you defend it. That's why you repeat it. Not because it's true, but because it's familiar. And familiar is safe. And safe is addictive. But let me ask you, has safety made you free? Has comfort made you whole? Has the lie given you anything that lasted? Or has it slowly eaten your soul while convincing you to smile? That's the horror Žižek wants you to face. That you are complicit. That you are not just a victim of the system, you are part of it. That your healing, your growth, your awakening have all been commercialized and sold back to you. You're not escaping. You're consuming the illusion of escape. And the system thanks you for it. So what now? Do you destroy the lie? Do you reject ideology? Do you burn it all down? No, that's another performance, another fantasy. Žižek doesn't say, become pure. He says, become aware. See the lie for what it is. Not to destroy it, but to stop being its slave. Because once you see it, really see it, you are no longer trapped. You can move differently, speak differently, choose differently. Not because you're free from ideology, but because you are conscious of it. And that changes everything. The world doesn't need more believers. It needs more thinkers, more people willing to say, I don't know. Let me look again. Let me question what even I have come to depend on. That is philosophy. That is liberation. That is the fire Žižek throws into the crowd, not to burn them, but to wake them, to shake them, to remind them that comfort is not a goal. It is a prison made of pillows. So if you still want the truth, then prepare to lose something. Prepare to lose the identity that was never yours, the certainty that kept you small, the performance that kept you liked, because the truth costs. It always costs. But it gives you back something you've never truly had, a real encounter with yourself, unfiltered, undressed, untamed. And that moment, however painful, is where your life actually begins. Because the lie, no matter how beautiful, can never love you. It can only use you. But the truth, though sharp, though brutal, is the only thing that will ever set you free.